Over recent years, we have seen scientific research featuring more on mainstream media on important issues such as climate change, Brexit, and more recently the COVID-19 pandemic. In the UK, we've moved rather quickly from a message of people have had enough of experts to us now being led by the science. And that is why it's critically important that research within a news setting is communicated properly. The future of society and the discussions we have depend upon it. And not only does open and proper coverage of research benefit society, but it helps the academics who are behind that work. And there are two key issues with how the media covers research. These issues relate to transparency and the trust between academics and journalists. Firstly, mainstream media's primary goal is to generate income by increasing advertising revenue through increasing their readership. This can come as a cost to how research is communicated to the general public by exaggerating or misrepresenting research to drive engagement. This is part of a bigger problem of media bias, where they may wish to focus on a certain aspect of a research story or take a single statistic and communicate it out of context. There's another lesser understood issue of the media not fully citing the published research within their news coverage. The media have always used sources to assist with their news gathering, and those sources can and should include links to published research. Stories, especially those on the web or in print, can be enhanced and given a greater credibility with the addition of citable, accessible research outputs. It becomes harder for the media to bias or tell untruths if they have to provide links to published research, or even better, provide an actual citation at the end of a story. If a journalist interviews an academic for a news story, there are several things that need capturing. Firstly, the name of the academic communicating that research, or at least the leading researcher involved in the project. If you look at local news coverage on the web, you are much less likely to find that out. In fact, anything that looks like a web link citation in local media is probably going to take you to a commercial website, not an academic's homepage or the published research. This is very much the case with clickbait, yellow journalism, or journalism-based media platforms. In many cases, we have the unhelpful line of scientists or researchers have found within the story. So who are these researchers? Do they exist? Are they in a lab? Where are they based? At what institution? Relaying this information gives credibility to a news story. It makes it real that these academics exist, that they are not part of some secret organisation up to no good. Secondly, has the work been published? Where is it published and where can we read it for ourselves? Is the research in a credible academic journal, or is it early non-peer-reviewed findings? In the case of COVID-19, this can make a difference. We live at a time when more research than ever is being published open access, meaning that anyone without a subscription can read it. Of course, not everyone will want to read the research paper or understand it, but a citation in a news story provides important evidence. This may make some journalists more wary of biasing stories, especially when distrust in the media is on the increase. In the same way that no one can contribute substantially to a Wikipedia entry without providing a citable piece of evidence, academic coverage in the media should contain links to the academic or their work. Something that is rarely mentioned is also who funded the research. Is the work paid for by a charity, the government, or even a private company? This is of interest to many individuals and organisations, not least the funders who put millions of pounds into research projects, for whom being covered in the media is important and can encourage further funding. It's also important for academics working in the media to understand how news spreads, especially in the age of social media. Capturing their evidence of where their research is being featured can be very useful to them and show potential impacts within society. If an academic's work is not properly cited in media coverage, which can spread very quickly, they lose out on capturing the evidence of possible impact. Properly citing research in media coverage not only helps a public understanding of science and information literacy, but it improves the quality of our news and importantly helps academics reach communities who their work directly impacts.